What is going on, everybody? Luke here. So today's video is going to be short and sweet, but it's quite important for Q4. I just did a great webinar yesterday in Elite Sellers Academy talking about repricing strategies, all related to the next 6 weeks of Q4, obviously the last 6 weeks or 7 weeks, whatever it is. This is recording on the 12th of November, so basically up to the end, and just little things that you can, little hacks, little things you can do in advance just to prepare for when it explodes and basically try to reap lots of rewards in terms of profit and sales. So what I'm going to be talking about today is how to prepare for stock in advance of needing it. What I mean by that is, it comes to December and you start doing more sales, you start buying more stock to replenish those sales. As always, there's products that you end up finding out that go out of stock, or the lead time to get to you is 5 days. Like, there's been shipping delays and stuff from suppliers and stuff, it takes too long, and you find that you're out of stock too much, which means you're ultimately losing profits, because if you're just in stock, that's the only difference. If you're just in stock, you'll be making all these sales, making all this profit, but the fact is that you are now out of stock because the sales is more than you're able to supply. For whatever reason, it could be you didn't prepare enough in advance and now you're trying to catch up. It could be that things are taking longer to get into Amazon, or you're buying, it's taking longer from the supplier, all these different variables. And I'm just going to show you a couple of things that I'll be doing just to prepare for that. So obviously it's not as clear cut as saying, buy loads up front and it's going to sell. Of course not. But what I will do, as well as having plenty of stock available for products that I know are going to sell well, I will also be scheduling in advanced shipments for the future. So what I mean by that, Thornton's is a good example, and so is Ocado. There's many others. I'm just giving you these two because it is relatively easy to show you. Not that there's necessarily any good products on here. I found like one or two on Thornton's recently, and Ocado is more like tick over products, day-to-day stuff. But more the merrier. Just some examples for you guys, and you can go ahead and look to do something similar with whoever you use as a supplier. Obviously, there's no guarantee that you can do it with every single one, but there's definitely plenty that you can. So what I will be doing is I'll be choosing name day delivery, and a lot of the time I'll be looking to get next day delivery. So you can see 13th is tomorrow, because I want to be getting deliveries basically ASAP. I don't want to be waiting 3 to 5 days, because my best sales day last year was like 21 grand. Imagine all that stock that sold. Imagine if I was like 3 to 5 days out, so a lot of that stock never booked in fast enough, blah blah blah. I could have lost like 100,000 pounds in sales if that stock wasn't in Amazon. And so getting that stock in ASAP, or maybe not ASAP as such, but having plenty there, but also scheduling future deliveries because the stock that I'll be wanting is going to help to basically help you avoid losing sales just because there's no stock in Amazon. That's literally the one thing. You don't even have to find any new products, nothing like that. The one thing is keep in stock and find a way. And this is a great little addition that you can add. So what I will do is I will normally look at the delivery dates, and I will go ahead and choose something like December. So we are now 13th. Of course, I can do it any day here and here and here. And then what I probably do come, around the 23rd of November, is I'll be scheduling advanced deliveries every week, so that I've basically already prepared up front a lot of the stuff. And for example, I could go December 7th here, and I'm going to get a delivery of XYZ on December 7th, and so it's obviously going to process the payment now. It's going to lock in that stock, and I'm going to pay for it. Yes, there's going to be some cash flow involved up front, so you may not be wanting to do this across every product, but it's definitely a great way to secure the stock. And what I mean by that is, there's lots of products that go out of stock. Definitely some great high volume products where they're selling hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds a day, like 500 to 1,000 units a day. So obviously, if there's 10 sellers, that could be people could have like 500 in stock. That could be 5,000 units in stock just in Amazon across 10 sellers. Well, obviously that means that if that's going to sell out in a week, people might be looking to buy another 5,000 or even 10,000 for the whole of December. Is there 10,000 units available at the retailers? Maybe, but that 10,000 sounds a lot to be definitely getting purchased in like one day potentially, or over a couple of days. And so it's very easy for those high volume products to sell out quick and maybe not even come back into stock for a while. It could be a couple of days, it could be a week, it could never come back into stock. And what I will be doing is trying to lock in that product ahead of time, so that not only am I, I've got a planned delivery schedule which is going to be important so I can prepare a lot easier to see what's coming and what's not. I also know that I'm locking in that stock in advance. So what I'll be able to do is I might have 100 units getting delivered Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So that's 300 units, or 100 each day, I mean. But it might be that that product's out of stock by the time we get to the 7th of December. And I'm now getting that delivery, and a lot of other sellers can't get it because they didn't prepare in advance. And it's not impossible that they'll be out of stock and something happens, but I've done this many times, many years, and I've never had it where they say, sorry, this product is no longer available, we can't deliver it. Because I've always had it where it's you paying for it, they're basically allocating that for you, and it will be prepared in the sense that it will probably be packed, but it won't be shipped or anything. It just sort of sit there. Otherwise it wouldn't let you do this, because obviously, you know, if they were going to just keep selling the stock, then what would the point of having a future delivery schedule? Why'd there be a point of this? You know, like they wouldn't offer that unless they were actually allocating that stock to you, because otherwise there'd be so much backlash because stuff, you know, if they didn't know if it's going to be in stock or not, because things go in and out of stock, then it just wouldn't work to be able to have this function. But they do, and I've used it before, and I've never had any products not be delivered. And the same with the Ocado here. You can go ahead and, you know, in the calendar book for like 1 to 4 weeks in advance. So you can be scheduling in all those sort of Q4 Christmas bangers. You know, yeah, there might not be loads, but there'll definitely be some that you can schedule ahead of time. And a lot of the time things go out of stock. It does not matter. You've already locked it in. And that happens all the time for me. Even day-to-day stuff. You know, I go in to book a new delivery, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. But the one that I scheduled last week for tomorrow, it has it all in my cart and it still all gets delivered, even though right as of today it's out of stock. So it's not actually out of stock, it's just allocated to me to be delivered in the next day or 2 days or 3 days or whatever. And then you can go ahead in here and even secure in offers for the future. So if an offer ends like the 19th of November and it's like really great Christmassy stuff or something at the moment, you can go ahead and schedule it all the way up to the 10th and still lock in that deal. And so you're able to basically get another 2.5 weeks of deals that don't even exist anymore for people ordering here. And so you're basically just preparing and locking in deals, because there's many great products that I'm going to be doing it on, and hopefully, fingers crossed, you know, even if that cuts the, you know, even if I do that across 30-40 products and I have 5 that go out of stock, I'm still going to get that delivery. And yeah, it might not be as much as I want. It might not be 5,000 units, because if you're the only buy box holder, you can obviously capture like 10x of sales with just one of, you know, instead of 10 of you in the buy box is one. But I can make some decent premiums on, you know, 300, 400 units, whatever I end up buying. So obviously you don't want to go too deep in advance because it's a lot of cash flow, and you know, you have to be confident you're going to sell it. So there's lots of variables you've got to consider there. But definitely on stuff that I've sold before and I have a good understanding of, I'll be a lot more confident. You know, worst case, I sell high volumes of it, you know, like a pound profit, you know, sell 500 to 1,000 units in a month. Or if I'm lucky, a lot of other people can't buy that anymore, so the competition drops, profit goes up, and I'm able to, you know, maximize a little bit more of a return on those, on that back, you know, let's say it's a handful of products that happens on. And the others where it doesn't and there's still plenty of stock, okay, great, you know, I did it I wanted to prepare in advance for Q4. I don't want to be looking day to day and rushing around trying to capture some stock because I missed, you know, I want to be very, very aware of what I'm doing ahead of time in Q4 and really analyzing and drilling down and getting like not only the stock in Amazon, you know, really set up well for the end of November, but I want to also have a plan or action for buying new stock and how long it takes and everything, and prep center times. And so by doing that, you know, you could go ahead and buy it all early. Again, you've got to have, it would be stuff like storage fees and prep fees that you'd have to pay in advance. Not the end of the world necessarily, but there's still things to be considered. But you know, worst case, this is the final thing I'll add. If you don't want that stock, you don't want, you know, let's say you schedule all these deliveries for Ocado, you schedule deliveries for wherever you're using, and then you go, you know what, I don't need that stock, it didn't sell how I thought, go ahead and cancel it. Ocado's very easy, you just click edit, cancel or whatever, and it will get it, just get rid of it. And the same with something like a Thornton's, you can just give them an email, give them a call and say, yeah, I don't need this stock anymore, can we cancel that order? And they'll refund you and it won't come. So worst case, you find out that you don't need that stock because it does not sell as you expected, or you have plenty in stock at the moment and you don't need anymore, then you can go ahead and cancel it, as long as you obviously give them notice. And that's why it's really nice to be able to do that, because you're just giving yourself a little edge in the event that it's an out of stock product. You could just do it very simply. You can if you've got the capital, or even some capital, you don't have to do it on every product, and you see that, you know, come mid-December, it's like a 500, 300 rank in grocery or whatever category you use as selling. You can go ahead and schedule, you know, those products up on you're speculating So you're locking up your capital short term on the possibility that there'll be a stock shortage or issue. It might not even be a short, it might just be a shortage. You might not have as much in stock, and it might just be, day in, day out less rather than like an unlimited amount, because a lot of things at the moment look like you can just keep buying. Again, this time of year, there is stock shortages, and there has been a lot of talk about lorries and problems with hauliers and all that kind of thing with stock quantities. And so there's another little thing that gives me like a little heads up saying, oh, maybe this will be an issue. If it's not, I can cancel the orders. I can still get the deliveries if I want to be selling a lot of them. There's no reason you couldn't do that, but it just gives you options, and that's what I like. It gives you that potential to create like a good opportunity in advance. Worst case, you can cancel it. And again, if you haven't got the cash flow, maybe you want to focus on just a couple and try it, and again, worst case, you cancel it and you use that capital for something else at some point. So I'm going to leave the video there, everyone. Hope you liked it. Any questions, let me know, and I'll see you all on the next one.